What is active listening? In kindergarten, you learn to listen. But is listening the same as active listening? In this video, I'll explore what active listening really means, how it differs from regular listening, and why it's one of the most important life skills that you can learn. Plus, I'll share insights from my experience working for a billionaire in Miami. He taught me how to listen actively. I admit, I haven't always been the best at listening. I tend to be impulsive and interrupt people, jump into their conversation. Maybe it's my ADHD brain, or perhaps it's a bad habit. Listening is a skill I had to learn as a coach. And listening is more than just being quiet and not interrupting someone. It's actually hearing what they have to say without formulating a response. You know how you're listening to someone and then all of a sudden you already want to respond? No. Listening is actually just hearing what they have to say without the need to respond. It is simply paying attention to the other person and what they're saying. Did you know that listening is the easiest way to gain someone's trust? I talk a lot about communication, and you may want to check out my video on human connection to gain insights on how to build trust with people. Now let's get back to that billionaire in Miami. When he hired me as a personal assistant, one of the first things he told me was, you don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to listen. And more importantly, when I asked him, what do you mean? He said, you cannot control your communication, which means that I tend to interrupt people and jump into conversation, and that's exactly what he meant. My response was, then teach me. From that point on, I learned how to actively listen. So let's break down the mechanism. First, you hear what the person has to say. Then you repeat word for word what the person has said. I mean word for word, not paraphrasing. You do this for 3 reasons. Number 1, you are serving as the person's sounding board so that you can check their communication. When you repeat word for word what they have said, they can then hear back what they have said because you're repeating word for word what they're saying and now they're hearing themselves speak. Number 2, you can slow down the communication so you can actually receive more information. And especially in negotiations, it's important to hear everything and really take in all that sensory details to make you a better and more effective negotiator. Number 3, you eliminate irrelevant communication. So when you actually focus on what's important and what was being said, all the other things that we add to the conversation that is not logical or just fluff, or you eliminate that because you're forcing yourself to hyper focus on the most important parts of what you're communicating or what the other person is communicating. Let's do an example in real time. So the billionaire might say, today I spoke to Mr. Johnson and we discussed a real estate project in Miami. Mr. Johnson wants to build 3 high-rise apartments in Brickell, and it will include a wellness spa in each building. He wants me to review the architectural plans. He'll say, Alice, what did you hear? And I would say, what I heard you say was, Mr. Johnson and you discussed a real estate project in Miami. Mr. Johnson wants to build 3 high-rise apartment buildings in Brickell, and each will include a wellness spa. He wants you to review the architectural plan. Sounds easy, right? Except it's not when there's a lot of information. I want to take a moment and give a shout out to my friend and mentor Stanley Orchard at TubeBuddy, who truly knows how to listen. He has helped countless YouTubers succeed on YouTube. Stanley is a well of knowledge, and more importantly, TubeBuddy, where he works, is an awesome tool to help you read your analytics on your channel. It helps you analyze your engagement, your audience, and more importantly, what people are searching for. When I started using TubeBuddy, it was a lot of information, and Stanley helped me understand all of it. If I didn't have Stanley who would hear what I had to say, I would truly quit YouTube. If you plan on staying on YouTube for a while, you may want to check out the software. By the way, this video is not sponsored by TubeBuddy, but I just love the software, and more importantly, I love Stanley, so I want to give this shout out to him. I'll also leave a link to TubeBuddy in the description below. Active listening is extremely important in the business context. Whether you're putting together business plans or negotiations, listening to customers, clients, and even your colleagues, it's crucial in being effective, mainly productive. Active listening makes you feel heard and appreciated. It's also invaluable. More importantly, in everyday life, as new stressors come in and communication breaks down, by practicing active listening, you can actually conserve energy and be more effective in communicating your needs and wants. You could avoid all that emotional pain and drama just with active listening. One of the things that I found interesting is we always talk about be more clear, direct, and concise in your communication. But sometimes it's better not to talk at all and just hear what your troubled teen is saying, hear what your annoying coworker is saying, because when you actually hear what people are saying, you can better adjust your communication style. And I think that has always been more effective for me, because rather than just me communicating in a way that I think is right, not everybody receives the information in the same way. Even if you're from different culture or women and men receive information differently, rather than me reacting, I listen so I can get those cues and understand like which communication style I need to use. Do I need to be more empathetic? Do I need to be more assertive? And that information on how to communicate, I'm able to receive through listening. And I'll admit, it feels unnatural in the beginning. You're already on to the next thought and now you have to slow down and repeat word for word what the person has said. It's okay in the business context, but when you're doing it in your personal life, it seems very taxing. But I promise you, if you try it for a month, it's effective. And if you have some experience with active listening, leave it in the comments below and let me know what was the outcome of that communication. Did you secure more deals? Did you improve your relationship with your loved one? What actually happened when you listened actively? And like really take a moment to think about it. By the way, if you found this video valuable, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and check out more videos in my playlist, Communicating with Alice. In the next episode, I will talk about how to show genuine interest in people. This one is one of my favorite because whether or not you actually like people or what they have to say, it's an important skill to have to show interest because it gets you more friends and business opportunity. Do the best that you can every day. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next episode.